Hi guys, welcome to our English talk show. Today it's with real privilege that we have invited a prominent scholar and also the executive director from iNet to be on our show. His name is Mr. Zhou Tao. Hi, Mr. Zhou Tao. Welcome to our talk show.
Welcome.
It's a real privilege to have you here. How are you today?
It's fine, especially to meet you.
Oh, thank you. It's my real pleasure. Could you first please introduce yourself a little bit more to our audience?
Yes, I'm Tao Zhou, and I'm majoring in theoretical physics. It looks like far from our real life. But now, in recent 10 years, I tend to be a kind of data scientist and data engineer. So we are basically doing two kind of things. So one is we do some study on fundamental algorithms about data mining and artificial intelligence. Another one is we try to make some real application, large scale application, driven by big data, but for the real, like education, like housing, or financial issues, something like that.
I see. Thank you for the introduction. Like the first one you mentioned, it's related to artificial intelligence, right?
Yeah,
Could you tell us what's the connection between big data and artificial intelligence?
I mean, if we look at the traditional artificial intelligence,
Yeah. What is that?
how to say, really depends on big data. You know that for artificial intelligence, its history is really long. It's more than half century.
Oh.
But previously, artificial intelligence cannot compare with expert. The power of artificial intelligence cannot compare with real expert because it lacks big data. And maybe about 10 years or 15 years before, now we collected more and more data.
Yep.
So we can train the model and make it more and more accurate. So for recent few years, in many fields, the artificial intelligence can really compare with human experts. So this is a kind of booming spring of artificial intelligence.
Yeah, it's booming, growing fast.
But if we look at future, yes, in the near future, maybe 10 years or 20 years, the artificial intelligence can be somehow jump out of the data. I mean, they can generate
run
data
independently without data.
It can generate data by itself. So we cannot need real data. So because, for example, if we look at AlphaZero, I mean the new generation of AlphaGo, the two players, both with artificial intelligence, they play themselves. So we don't need a real human expert, but they just computer play with computer.
Yes.
And now we can generate artificial images. Based on some sampling, we just generate artificial images, not real images. And we try to recognize some patterns in the image, but we don't need real images. So this is another way. So maybe, and previously we don't have big data, so we do not have powerful artificial intelligence. Now we have big data, and currently data is even more important than algorithm itself. But if in the near future, maybe sometimes we don't need real data, because artificial intelligence can generate artificial data and become more intelligent.
Yeah, there's some movies portrayed in this kind of matter. Do you think it will bring kind of like a threat to human being?
I'm not sure, because now for any kind of robot, they have some kind of subject. Their objective. Their target. Maybe mathematically speaking, their target function is designed by human being.
Yes.
So basically, the optimal and their actions, they try to find so many resources to aim at this kind of human-designed target. And this is so. In this stage, we are safe because we design the target for the robots.
Yeah, that's the stage that we are now, right?
Yeah, I cannot imagine some days. Maybe I'm not sure, but maybe some days after, maybe they can find their own target. But I don't know how. I don't know how. But if they can find their own target, so we call it ultimate intelligence (UI). So this kind of ultimate intelligence is. Maybe it
can be a
it's
threat.
Something yes we feel. Yeah.
I see. As ordinary people, is that like some precautions we can take to get us better prepared for the ultimate artificial intelligence?
Maybe that's this way. Basically, for normal human beings, we can learn something more about artificial intelligence. So maybe we can be more suitable, or we have better, somehow we can be more suitable for the next generation. But you know that this kind of terrible thing are not by, maybe it's just by a few very, how to say, maybe they are unsocial or they are very strange. A kind of crazy expert or crazy scientist, a few, just maybe one or a few. So it's, I can't say how to control it, but it's a kind of
like a challenge we are facing
it's a kind
at
of
the
challenge.
moment.
You know that we forbidden something by some so many rules in the scientific community. We have so many rules which fields we can touch, which we cannot. For example, for brain science or for gene science. But every time we always have a few scientists, crazy scientists. So we
they
can
touch those sensitive areas. Those areas may create maybe like ethical problems.
Ethical problems. But we cannot just by some ethical rules. They just want to do their own things. We can.
I see. Oh, thank you. You know, and also, I once, speaking of data, I once heard of a statement about it. It says, "Data is the new oil."
Yeah, somehow.
Do you agree with that, and why?
I'm not sure if it's a new oil, because oil, even new, it can be burned out. It's
it can use up.
Infinity, yes. But data is not limited. So data is a kind of oil. But you know that data we share for more. We can earn more. We can have more. So data is a kind of new oil, but not oil, a new resource. This kind of resource can be copied for many copies. Okay, but even more valuable. So
I see. Like you just mentioned, we give our data and we use data. So actually, I think this is related to data literacy. So do you think data literacy is important for like our ordinary people to have in order to make sense of the massive data out there?
You mean private? Some kind of to protect the private information or something?
That's related, but data literacy is more related to understanding the data, how we can make use of the data. Sometimes, for example, like take e-commerce, for example, when you buy things online, you get lots of data and also recommendations from the websites, okay, what things you buy. But you need to have a clear mind idea to tell what data are real, what data are not. For example, in the source of data, some people may fake it. Then it will lead to the wrong outcome of the result, right? So do we need to have this kind of ability to tell the difference?
It's a kind of, so first of all, data is, at the first place, it's a costing. Data is a cost. So at the first place, it's cost because you need to storage the data. You need to analyze the data. So if you cannot make money or make other values from the data, you just have some costly things, okay, garbage, okay, and even worse than garbage. So, so this is the
no
first,
use at all.
The first ability is we have the ability to mining the value from the data, and we can analyze the data.
To refine the data.
So this is one thing. And for example, if you're talking about the e-commerce website, we need to build up a kind of recommender system. So we do
recommendations.
Analyze personalized history records about your purchase history. Okay, and we try to dig out your personal interests and to make some recommendation about product to you. Okay? So this is a kind of machine learning algorithm. And another one is you mentioned, so we have to make us to be robust to spamming, because you know that. So, of course, in the real world, we have artificial data and we have some fake data. But sometimes the fake data is from a nature way, but sometimes it's made by some human purpose. For example, if we in the e-commerce commercial website, we want to make some benefits. So we
pay some people to give the right reviews or good reviews on some products.
A good algorithm itself, it is robust. So when we design the algorithm, we have a part of a model to try to detect the spammers. So this is a necessary part. If you do not have this kind of necessary part, you will have a garbage in, garbage out. So
yes, indeed. I totally agree with you. And then also, because you have to, in order to enjoy the benefits of public goods, the result of the big data.
Yeah.
You have to give out your own data.
Yeah.
Then this leads to giving out your
Private
privacy,
something,
right?
yeah.
So what do you think of the trade-off between your privacy and the public goods?
Okay, it's a good question, but you know that sometimes for normal person, because we look at this kind of TV or media or something, we see, okay, so many big companies, they steal our private information to make money. We feel it, but it's not, because sometimes we give our private information, and it is very good for the development of the industry. So this is somehow good for your country or your society. And then another one is you will enjoy better service. So it's a kind of trade-off. But you know, I have some issues. First of all is for us individual, as an individual, so we do not have any ability to protect our private information. We do not have. You never have, because sometimes you go through the street. Oh, the camera look at.
I see the sensors cameras everywhere. There's telephone, no way for you to hide.
Your some iPhone.
Yeah, indeed.
And if you type in the computer, even they can record your type serious. Okay, so typing serious. So
yes,
anyway, you don't have. So basically, we have private information, but we do not have the ability.
To protect
you do not try to have the ability. You cannot. You cannot have the ability to protect your private information.
Really? Wow.
I have two suggestions. One.
Okay, what is that?
Suggestion number one is you need to distinguish which one is really important. For example, if you have some making love picture with your girlfriend or somehow, try not save it in the internet. Okay. Or in your computer.
Don't store it on the cloud.
Yes,
okay.
Yes,
That's
just
one way
make
to
it separate from the internet. Okay.
Stay away from internet.
Or something very important like your bank account or something. Okay. So make sure this is really important. Try to save in some on internet.
In a conventional, traditional way.
Yeah, exactly. And the second one is we need to have some rules, some strict rules to punish the companies who use your information, but they do not tell you. They use your information, make their own benefit without relation to you. So this kind of company, they do hurt you. And we punish this kind of companies to protect you. And not teach you how to protect yourself, because you cannot.
I see.
Okay, so this is my.
But that kind of a law or term is not there yet, right? We need people to really.
We have a kind of.
We do have that now.
I mean, in China, the Chinese government, we launched a law in Children's Day. In
last year.
And last year, Children's Day, we have a kind of law. But you know that technique is more powerful than law, because you know that we need to use some highly advanced technique to make the law feasible and to find the better
applied. I see. So there's a lot of issues behind it, how we can apply the law.
Exactly.
I see. Well, that's really interesting point here. And another thing related to this is sometimes I think the reviewed preferences sometimes is different from stated preferences from a person. For example, like you mentioned, when we're typing on the computer, search something, that the data is already there, right?
Yeah.
Some person may say, I'm into music. I love music so much, especially classic music.
Yeah.
But maybe the data behind, for example, collected by the internet company, the reviews, you spend most time on internet typing in something not music related or not classical music related. It can be maybe like games. Then the reviewed version is different from what you said. When this happens, when there's difference happens, which one do you think is more accurate?
I mean, you know that is where our requirement is somehow. Some requirement is we say immediate requirement. That means we need it right now. For example, we want to find the address of this hotel. So I want to find this immediately. So this is immediately requirement. Anyway, this kind of things. I mean, so such engine should be returned to your keywords or queries, just as what you require. Okay. So this is one thing. Another thing is what we call it's a hidden requirement.
Hidden requirement.
It's hidden. It's like what we need, for example, if we look at this recommender system, or what we call personal recommendation,
Yep.
Maybe I will recommend you some music or some movies. Maybe you do not know it yet. Yes, it's very niche movie or it's unpopular movie. But if you're looking at the movie, you will like it. So this is a kind of a hidden requirement. You don't know. You cannot type it. Even you cannot make it like some queries. You don't know. But I recommend you based on your privacy,
your search
your
history
records. For example, if you have already watched a few or several movies, and we look at some other people, they have watched similar movies with you, and they like some other movie, and I recommend this movie too. This is what we call collaborative filtering. So
okay, that makes sense. Really.
It makes sense.
Because sometimes really your own history surprise yourself. It happened before, right? Yeah, I think there are some history showing that. Like in the past year, how many songs or what songs you have listened to? Which ones were like on the top 3? Sometimes you surprise yourself in this way.
Exactly. Because computer have almost infinity memory, and we have just a very
exactly. They're way more advanced than us. And another thing is also related to data right. Do you think we, as humans, we have the data right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
We shall have the saying to say when we would like to give out our data, when we want to take away our own data.
Yes, somehow it's a kind of similar to I mentioned with you to use this private information. So basically we have this kind of right. We should have, but actually we do not, because. When we say the right or some kind of our private right on the data or on the information, it's based on somehow like we have the information ability and we have the technique, but we do not. So another one is like, I show one example. For example, as I mentioned to you, the computer have infinity memory. Maybe we should say, when I show you my data, okay, for example, I go to bank, I borrow some money or something. Okay, I need this data have a kind of valid period, like 10 years. Maybe it's, some behavior 10 years ago, or even, you need to cancel it.
Exactly. It's like if the history kind of reveals a negative part of you, you don't want that to be there forever.
Especially negative, yes, because we can change ourselves, and maybe, but if the computer do not think, the computer just analyze all your history. But some history, for example, if I buy something from the e-commerce website for my girlfriend,
you don't want your current girlfriend to find out.
Because you don't need to recommend to my girlfriend, because this is the girlfriend. Okay? But they do not forget it.
Is there a way that we can file such a request to get it done?
It's not easy. It's not easy because the company just aim at benefit. They do not aim at our right. So somehow it's not easy.
A sudden change of the setting. No worries. Let's continue with our conversation. Mr. Zhou, can you give us some specific examples how big data, is fundamentally changing the way we used to do things?
Okay, maybe I show you one example about education. Because I'm from the university, so I'm familiar with the education. Before we know we are having the big data. I mean the data about the students, the behavior of students. So we usually know students just like normally half a year when they
take the exams,
take the examinations. So we know the performance. Okay.
Yeah.
So but you know that is when we have the cameras and smart car. I mean, Campus smart car. I mean, everybody have this
smart car.
Okay. So, if you are in the university, so you having showers and you are having dinner, lunch, or you are go into or go out of your apartment, go to this library, or you're finishing waters in teaching building, everything. Almost you are using this kind of smart car. Okay, because this smart car is identification of you, and as well as it's a kind of per charge. Okay, you per charge by this car.
Yeah.
So now we have so much data from this smart car. It's basically all your campus living life it's recorded in this car.
I see.
Okay, so now we have already built a model. This model is about to predict your examination performance, to predict.
I see.
Okay, so
Even before the
your
exams,
examination, yes.
the student will have a general idea how good the student is.
Okay, yes,
Yeah.
we use 3 different data. One is about your private performance. Okay, your private examination, your private examination.
Okay.
The second one is what we call diligence index. I mean, diligence is
Diligence.
Diligence, yes. We try to estimate how many hours you have spent on study. How many hours?
In the class or in the library?
Yeah,
right?
How long you are in the library, how many times you finishing waters, you are finishing water in the teaching building, how many books you borrowed from the library, how many courses you selected in this system, okay? So this is one index, and we found a very strong correlation between diligence and between its GPA performance. GPA, okay. And the third one is what we call ordinance. Ordinance means that's your living style. For example, we look at which time you are taking shower. Like this one.
Yeah, you do that regularly or not?
Yeah, and which time you have breakfast, or whether or not you have breakfast, and which time you have lunch or something. Okay, so we look at your tracks in the university, and we see if someone, we look at the distribution in this 24 hours. You are, for example, the time you're taking shower, and so we can distinguish which one is living in order, which one is not. So we found that ordinance is also strongly correlated with GPA. So putting these 3 groups of index together, like your private performance, your diligence, your ordinance, so we can highly accurately predict your course. I mean your examination performance. And if we predict, you will fail for many courses, you will at least you will fail 1 or 2 courses. So this is like we can do some kind of intervention in advance of your real examination. Because, for example, if I like this internet game or like Wang Zhelong or something, okay, so we are really like it. So, and if from a good student with excellent performance to the one with so many courses failed, this normally they are 1 year or 1.5 years. So if you found he's already have so many courses failed, it's already, I mean, we have nothing to do because it's heavily.
It's already too late, beyond cure.
Yes. So, but the behavior change is immediately. For example, if last month you go to library for 24 times, but this month is just 3 times or 2 times.
The intervention has to happen
sharply
here.
change in behavior. So even long before your examination. So this can make us do some kind of intervention. Okay,
Will that increase the workload for teachers, for the supervisors?
It's okay because all the information is because this is a kind of private information, so we do not know who's who. Only if you touch or you exceed some kind of threshold, some kind
it's
of
like alarm will go off.
threshold. So we can send this kind of information automatically to your teacher, to the teacher. Okay?
I see.
For one teacher, it's about 115 students you organize this kind of skill.
So if you are a student there, be careful with what you do.
Yes,
even what you say, right?
Because
those things will be recorded.
Yeah, we have some volunteers. It's almost half of the university students are volunteers. They share their data, and if they have some really behavior change, so their teacher will know.
Will know, at that critical moment, right? When it's time to intervene, right? Interfere with.
It really improve their performance, and I mean, it's in particular reduce the furniture.
I see. The data shows the high accuracy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. And also, another thing is healthy body, healthy mind, right?
What?
Yeah, healthy body, healthy mind.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Diligence is just part of your performance, right? And you still have to have a healthy life, right? To eat regularly,
and you can do some
exercise regularly.
Good self-control.
Have those 2 balanced, then you can be qualified as a good student.
Yeah.
Thank you. And my last question, what do you think, who is the ultimate beneficiary of big data?
At the first place, I think is because this kind of big data and artificial intelligence, and basically, I mean, most people will enjoy the benefit, in particular for this our health. Because now using this kind of artificial intelligence and really big data in health, in medicine science is really big. Our genes the expression of our genes and so much. So we can do some drug target analysis to find the target of the disease and to design new drugs. And so our expectation is like, for example, like us, maybe we are now is between 13 years old and 14 years old. The expectation life is more than 120 years for our generation.
Life expectation,
and even more.
really?
No, even more.
So we can get longevity in the
yes,
future.
so maybe compare with our parents. Maybe compare with our parents. Our remain life is longer than them. I'm sorry, compare with that means compare with the zero, the people with zero age. Okay, people with zero age. So now the expected life in China is about 71. 71 is the average life
expectancy.
Life expectancy. Yeah. But for us, it's more than 100 years. So it's that's
wow.
So this generation.
That's good news. Really good news.
Yeah, maybe this generation or the next generation. I hope this generation we will finally overcome this kind of this. So this is our target. So try to live in forever if possible.
Yeah, we love to become immortal. And like you mentioned, our life expectancy can be like 120 years old. Then our middle life crisis will come when you're 60 years old. So now we are still so young.
Child, child, so it's okay.
Wow, that's really huge. Really huge good news for us. Thank you so much. You're the first Chinese guest on our English talk show. Thank you so much for the cooperation and sharing all those valuable things with us. We sincerely wish you all the best. Thank you.